MotorWeek is made possible by Auto Value and Bumper to Bumper and TireRack.com.
So, once again, that engine's talking muscle and power, but I'll tell you, I'm not sure it's going to be talking to its same old customers.
What do you mean?
Well, when I looked up the figures, I found out that it was going to come in for between $24,000 and $26,000, and that's flirting with Porsche and BMW owners.
Okay, Joyce, be sure to keep us up to date on what's happening with the new Corvette. And speaking of BMW, for all you owners and people that like to dream, we have a road test now of one of the smaller products from those marvelous merchants of Munich. To an awful lot of drivers with enthusiasm, especially those professionals that like to forget the worries of their practice with a brisk commute, there is only one automobile prescription, and it's brief: BMW. And for the junior partner, it's likely to be this car, the 320i. So you can imagine our pleasure at receiving a sample of this ultimate middle management get-well car to see if it really is just what the doctor ordered.
As with any legend, you quickly find that living up to it is no easy feat. Let me say first that the 320i is one of the finest handling cars money can buy, but it's not perfect. Entering the course at 35, exit speeds up to 47 proved good ability, but too much body roll and too little engine power kept the numbers artificially low. I was surprised to find that during a 40-mile-per-hour jaunt on a twisty country road, I could actually lift an outside wheel and lose all power to the road. The optional S package, which includes a rear torsion bar, bigger front one, and a limited slip differential, would cure much of the problem. It would also be money well spent. On the other hand, the smooth steering, a power ball type no less, is outstanding. I fail to see why so many car manufacturers are spending money on more expensive and troublesome rack and pinion units. I can also say that handling seems to improve with speed. Powering through our high-speed emergency lane change is effortless. But if you get timid and lift the throttle, the almost neutral steering goes quickly to oversteer with a resulting rear-end twitch. This is a pedal-to-the-metal car. Actually, you don't have too much metal to play with, though. Underneath that front-tilting hood, you'll find only 101 horses and 1.8 liters, not the old 2-liter four-banger that the last two digits of the 320i's name would seem to indicate. That change in power came a couple of years ago with the demand for better fuel economy. And while we're on that subject, the EPA rates the manual transmission version at 25 city, 36 highway. Our MotorWeek test loop produced an urban cycle of 29. That's hard to fault in any sporty car. But when you make such compromises, you do take a lot of the spirit out of the sport. A 40 to 55 mile per hour passing time of 5.5 seconds is really a rather average performance. And if you only listen to the throaty sounding exhaust, you think you're going much quicker than our 10-second, 55 mile per hour, 500-foot result would indicate. Again, a good time, but no better than a lot of 6-cylinder automatics made by Detroit. But it's the total car that makes any BMW a standout. Over our quarter mile, you have a chance to work all 5 of its silky smooth gears. A hot knife through butter is still the best way to describe the 320i's shift linkage. It made a 19.9-second, 76 mile per hour drag race a truly pleasurable experience. But if you like the butter in its gearbox, you'll love the honey in its brakes. Sticky stops of 35 feet from 30 miles per hour were about as controllable and non-eventful as you could ever ask for. Stopping for that stray dog or cat in the dark of night could never be safer than in a 320i. From 55, extremely short distances of 116 feet on average were recorded. And there was no pull, no fade, and no sweat. There were only hints of rising pedal pressure and any tendency for the rear end to swing around. Both potentially troublesome, only at vastly higher than legal speeds. Just to bring you back down to earth, though, there is, as with any BMW, the matter of price. But take heart. You can own a 320i for a base of just over $13,000. Or you can opt for the luxury touring package that includes air conditioning and a fine manually operated sunroof for our test car's $16,500. The softball, by the way, is not included. Unfortunately, what was included was this ugly paint drip on the front hood. We were assured it was done at U.S. dockside to cover some damage in transit, which is to say that it was not a product of German workers. But the driver's environment is a proud product of those same German jobbers. You might compare it to the warm, intimate cockpit of a private plane, though I doubt the super hard seats could sustain many of us on very long trips. They were a matter of individual preference. Some of our crew loved them, others of us just got sore. All instruments were perfectly placed and very visible, and the multitude of air vents provided comfortable heating and cooling regardless of the world outside. But since even BMW must pay some notice to practicality and eventual repairs, every car comes with its own trunk lid mounted toolkit. You'll find it above a large, deep cavern that would allow our 4 bags and quite a bit more. It's now much easier for me to understand why BMWs are so favored by doctors, lawyers, and just about anyone who's serious about their cars. And to that end, the BMW 320i is about as serious and close to a legend as you're likely to find.
Well, told you it was a packed show. See you next week on MotorWeek.